Hi and welcome back to AI This Month, where we'll catch you up to date with the last 30 odd days of AI news you might have missed. This month we'll be chatting about Microsoft Copilot Plus AI laptops, GitHub Copilot extensions, the latest model releases from OpenAI, Google, Microsoft and IBM, and other interesting developments. So let's dive straight in. This month Microsoft released Copilot Plus, which is a generative AI model that lives inside your laptop instead of in the cloud. Now, that might seem a little backward because for the last 2 decades we've been moving away from on-prem to the cloud. Why would we want to do the reverse of that? But by having it on your hardware, it's obviously low latency and it can use all of your local data to help you out. Now, in terms of use cases, you might be looking to set a meeting, for example, and it can look at all your previous meeting data and suggest a meeting with your boss at a certain time. Or it might be looking for a certain file on your computer, say an image, and it will be able to locate that for you. Or you're having trouble coming up with a birthday gift for your friend, and it can look at your recent conversations and suggest something based on their personality and the context of what you've been doing. Basically, that's what it comes down to, context. You're giving an AI context on how to solve your problem. And this is context you might not be willing to give to a cloud-based AI, at least because there would be issues to give it over the internet in a secure and efficient way. The idea is what happens on your laptop stays on your laptop. Now, of course, this is going to take processing grunt. AIs are notorious for using a lot of processing power. And that's why a bunch of PC makers are starting to release a new class of laptops called AI PCs. And these are designed to be able to run these on-device AI apps like Copilot Plus. So what if you want to run Copilot Plus, but you don't want to go out and buy an AI PC just to run this particular tool? I mean, you might have a really good laptop already. And the good news is you don't need to run out and buy an AI PC just to run a local version of Copilot Plus. It will drain your battery really fast, so don't unplug it if you decide to do that. And the benefit of using an AI PC is it's not going to do that. It's not going to drain your battery like crazy, and it's going to run more efficiently. But the good news is, in the future, expect to see a lot more AI PCs popping out on the market as the norm. GitHub has just announced GitHub Copilot extensions. This allows third-party providers to extend the functionality of GitHub Copilot, which was already pretty awesome. Now, the result is that developers can now go about their work more efficiently. So what's an example of that? So right now, if you're a developer, you might be dealing with a database-related error. You might have to jump into your audit logs in DataStax. You go to Sentry for error monitoring. And then you've got to figure out a solution, apply a fix, and deploy it in Azure. And that is a lot of mucking around. You're moving all around the place. Now with Copilot extensions, you can invoke all of these tools from your Copilot chat. So you can perform actions, generate files, and pull requests. And these extensions are going to be available with all your Copilot chats. There are a dozen extensions to expect in the first wave from the likes of DataStax, Docker, Lambda Test, Azure, MongoDB, and Stripe. But the GitHub Marketplace will offer extensions that are open to everyone. And so you'll be able to create private Copilot extensions for your homegrown developer tooling. So to use Copilot extensions right now, you must be enrolled in the limited public beta. Speaking of having everything all in one place, Azure AI Studio is now generally available. Studio is a great place where you can develop and deploy your Gen AI apps in a streamlined way using a mix of visual and code-first tooling. Now, the Studio was launched last year, but it is now fully open for business. All right, let's talk about AI models. Not AI beauty pageant models, though we did coincidentally talk about that in last month's news. Every month, all the AI companies dump a ton of foundational models out there for us to play with. And each one has interesting specs, but if we go too deep, we're going to be here all day. You don't want that? And I don't want that. So here are the latest updates from a 1,000-foot view. The big news this month was OpenAI's release of GPT-4o. Now that's easy to read as 40 if you're like me, and you think, hey, did I miss 36 other GPT releases? Did I go to sleep for a really long time? But the O actually stands for Omni, and this is because this new version takes voice, text, and visual input. It can also respond in real-time audio, detect a user's emotional state from audio and video, and it can adjust its voice to convey different emotions. Now, you might have seen a video going viral with 2 phones where both models of Omni are talking to each other, and that you'll hear the inflection in the voice. Now I'm going to take a moment to be a bit indulgent and have a big I told you so moment. Back in 2023, I wrote an article where I coined the term omnimodal AI to describe an AI capable of taking all 5 senses as input and interact back. And now we're moving closer to that future. Now OpenAI's version isn't quite omni, it's still multimodal, since it can't take touch, smell, or taste as input. And if that seems a bit far-fetched and sci-fi, I'd recommend reading my article in the comments for why it won't be. Having used GPT-4 Omni, the user interface is still holding it back on desktop from being what is actually like talking to a real-time true digital assistant, though they are definitely going for the her angle. But it is still a very impressive step forward, and certainly if using GPT-4 models for your organization, it's a more powerful one for you to use. Developers can now access GPT-4 Omni in the API as a text and vision model, and GPT-4 Omni is 2 times faster, half the price, and has a 5 times higher rate limit compared to GPT-4 Turbo. Now, OpenAI plans to launch support for GPT-4 Omni's new audio and visual capabilities to a small group of partners in the API in coming weeks. Google has released a ton of new models this month. In the Gemini family, they've launched Gemini 1.5 Flash. Now, if you're a developer that needs lower latency and a lower cost to serve, and you're interested in previous Gemini models, then this model is a good lightweight alternative to the 1.5 Pro. They've also released Veo, which is a rival to OpenAI's Sora, which can create high-quality videos from a text prompt. They've released Imagen 3, which is a text-to-image model that's making some very believable photos of dogs. And AlphaFold 3, which is an advanced AI model that can predict not just the structure of proteins, but can model RNA, DNA, and apparently the structure of all life's molecules. This is going to help researchers in medicine, agriculture, material science, and drug development test potential discoveries. Microsoft has expanded the Phi 3 family on Azure this month with Phi 3 Vision, a multimodal model that brings together language and vision capabilities. They've also made Phi 3 Small and Phi 3 Medium available on Microsoft Azure. Behind the scenes, Microsoft is also working in-house on a new LLM model called Mi-3, and apparently this will have 500 billion parameters. This is above Llama 3's 80 billion parameters, but below GPT-4's rumored 1.7 trillion parameters. That said, Mi-1 is being developed and has not been officially announced. And alright, some quick other news items that you might have missed. IBM has now open sourced its Granite code models, which are trained for simplifying the code process. According to IBM, these models enhance productivity by automating routine and complex coding tasks. If you want to play around with them, they're available on GitHub, with a link in the comments. Anthropic has found a new way to see what's going on beneath the surface of LLMs, cracking their Claude LLM's black box. You too can dive into these mysteries and see how the AI neurons are firing by checking out their research paper, which again is linked in the comments. Google has introduced SynthID, a tool for watermarking AI-generated text and videos to hopefully ensure authenticity and reduce misinformation. And Google DeepMind has introduced the Frontier Safety Framework for guiding the safe development of AI products. And that wraps up this edition of AI This Month. If you want to stay up to speed with all the latest news, be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel. You can also check out our blog for in-depth articles on these stories and more. Stay curious, stay informed, and as always, keep being awesome.